Lose, how's it going? Now I've got to track down a good tutorial video for Blockbench. This is the kind of thing I am going to watch a video on. And I'm sure everything I'm doing is wrong. So I'm excited to have everyone tell me everything I'm doing is wrong. And I appreciate that. It's a great. Introduction to low poly modeling. I watched this one. This one seemed good. Oh, it's a 3D editor. 3D modeling.
First look at a program called Blockbench, which is a totally free low poly modeling software that appears to be mainly for creating Minecraft assets, but it also has a really great look for general modeling as well, with this characteristic combination of low poly shapes and pixel texturing. Today I'd like to start simple with a very beginner-friendly tutorial because, well, I'm a beginner myself, and I'll show you how I made this Pokeball design. And then after that, we'll make this other secret object to go with it, which you could probably already guess what that is. So get yourself settled in and let's get to it. Alright, when opening Blockbench, we can see a lot of different options for our project type, with most of them being different variations of Minecraft assets and mods and things like that. But today we're going to be doing some general purpose modeling. So I'm going to click on Generic Model and then Create New Model. I'll just name this one Pokeball and then leave everything else set to the defaults. And now we can see we're in an empty 3D workspace, and if we want to add some shapes to start playing around with, we can come over here to the Add Mesh button. And this is going to let us select from a series of basic primitive shapes that we can use to get our model started. I've got 9 different ones in my list here, and here's what the default version of each of those look like. When you're thinking about what you're going to model, it's best to consider how that thing can break down into a series of simple shapes. Obviously we're starting quite simple with the Pokeball design, so I'll just go ahead and select a sphere to get this one started. By default, it's telling me it'll have a diameter of 16 units and it'll be 12-sided. I'm just going to click confirm, and the nice thing here is that it allows you to adjust those parameters after you see what it looks like. So if I want to change the size, I can just click along the diameter or type in a value, and then the same idea for the number of sides as well. I like the idea of this being a really low fidelity asset with really simple geometry to it rather than being like a perfect sphere. So I'm just going to dial this in, and I'm feeling like something with 10 sides is looking pretty good. And I'm going to stick with that default diameter of 16. Now, for navigating the space, you can hold left click to rotate and tilt the workspace. You can also hold right click to pan it around. And then you can control or command click or use the mouse wheel to zoom in and out. Right now we're toggled onto the move tool. And so you'll notice as well there's this set of arrows oriented to the object. And we can click and hold on those to move it along that particular axis if you want to reposition shapes within the workspace. If we want to start altering and manipulating a shape, there are a few different ways to do that. Up at the top here, there are a few different selection modes, with the default sort of diamond gem icon here being used to select the entire object. If we flip to this box one called Face, that lets us click on any face of the object, and then if we were to use the move controls, that'll drag that face around and allow you to distort the object that way. Similarly, we can click on the Edge Selection tool, and this one does the same thing, but for the edge lines of the object rather than the faces. And then finally, there's the vertex selection, which allows you to drag single vertices, or you can also highlight multiple at a time if you need to. In the case of my design, I'm going to click and drag over the bottom half of vertices and delete those. And this is leaving me with one hemisphere for the Pokeball. I'm going to take 2 of these and sandwich them together so I can create a small physical seam between the 2 hemispheres.
Click and drag, bro.
Before copying it, I just want to close off that bottom part. We can see that it's...
Whoa, click and drag. Okay, bro, you skipped something.
At a time if you need to.
Click and drag with what?
In the case of my design, I'm going to click and drag over the bottom half of vertices and delete those. And this is leaving me
click and drag. How, bro?
I'm going to take 2 of
click
these
and drag.
sandwich them together so I can create a small physical seam between the 2 halves. But before copying it, I just want to close off that bottom part. We can
Okay, but bro, how'd you click and drag? How'd you click and drag?
In the case of my design, I'm going to click and drag over the bottom half of vertices.
Select multiple points. Sure, I totally see that.
Distort the object that way. Similarly, we can click on the edge selection tool, and this one does the same thing, but for the edge lines of the object rather than the faces. And then finally, there's the vertex selection, which allows you to drag single vertices, or you can also highlight multiple at a time if you need to. In the case of my design, I'm going to click and drag over the bottom half of vertices, drag single vertices, distort the object that way. Similarly, we can click on the edge selection tool, and this one does the same thing, but for the edge lines of the object rather than the faces. And then finally, there's the vertex selection, which allows you to drag single vertices, or you can also highlight multiple at a time if you need to.
How?
In the case of my design, I'm going to...
How is he doing the select thing? I'm already lost on a video, Greg. I don't know how he's doing the selection thing. He's got some sort of marquee thing that he does, and I don't even know how he's doing that. And he glosses over it. So this, if I press and hold left click, this is what happens. If I do right click, this is what happens. Middle click, this is what happens. Is there like a shift or something? How did he get that selection thing going? No, shift's not doing it. Alt shift? Control. It's control. Bro's already too used to the software to realize that he's not using noob speak. How come? There we go. Okay.
And then finally,
thank you.
The vertex selection, which allows you to drag single vertices, or you can also highlight multiple at a time if you need to. In the case of my design, I'm going to click and drag over the bottom half of vertices and delete those. And this is leaving me with one hemisphere for the Pokeball.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take two of these and sandwich them together so I can create a small physical scene.
See? Fucking...
Single vertices.
This is why I hate videos, guys. It was the one button none of us said. So, I hate videos because
or you can also
you really have to think about when you're making videos what you're saying and what you're doing. So he deletes these, but then he
after deleting those points. Two halves. But before copying it, I'm going to click and drag over the bottom half of vertices and delete those. And this is leaving me with one hemisphere for the Pokeball. I'm going to take two of these.
See, what the hell did he just do?
I'm going to sphere for the Pokeball.
Look at that. He didn't even say that he did that. Bro? I don't know. That looks like what he did. Sure.
I'm going to take two of these and sandwich them together so I can create a small
sandwich
between the two halves.
Hell yeah.
But before copying it, I just want to close off that bottom part. We can see that it's been left open.
Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah, left open like my heart.
With those perimeter vertices highlighted, I'll right-click and select Create Face or Edge. And now that's closed off the shape.
Create face or
Here, I'll
edge.
duplicate the shape, which is now
Create face. Bro, hang on. Create face or edge. Shift F. Okay. Face. F for face. Shift F. Create face. Okay. We thought about that button. It counts.
in places that original one.
I'm gonna make a mushroom. It's a Pokeball, apparently.
And I'll flip it by going to Transform, Flip, and flip it along the Y-axis.
Wait. Okay, bro, hang on.
After bringing these together, you can see where that small gap is going to create. Flip it by going to
No.
It's highlighted. I'll right click and select create face or edge.
Okay, dude. And then duplicate.
And
Control D.
Closed off the shape.
Okay.
From here, I'll duplicate the shape, which is now sitting in exactly the same place as that original one, and I'll flip it by going to transform, flip, and flip it along the y-axis.
Flip along the Y.
These together, you can see where that.
Right click. See, I'm thinking we can do it without a right click. Apply rotation. There's no button here. What does that do? Nothing. Rotate. No clues here about on the Z. The jack shit. On the X. Jack shit. Flip on the Y. Z. None of these are doing anything. Apply rotation. Okay. What if we just duplicate again? Then we say transform flip X. Is this because we don't have it selected in some magical way? Do we have to have... Flip X? Oh, hang on. Flip Y. Okay. Oh, but we didn't close the faces before we did this. Hang on. Okay. Okay. Was it Control F? No. Shift F? There we go. Faces. Okay. So I have to have it selected. Shift F. Okay. Selection object. Okay. Looks like the Death Star a little bit. Jacob, what's up? It's all right. I mean, we're gonna figure it out.
Create that seam between the two halves. And I'll fill in the rest with a small cylinder by adding a new mesh and selecting cylinder from the dropdown. Just eyeballing it, it looks like it'll just have to be a height of about 1. And for the diameter, since we use 16 for the sphere, we'll drop this down to 14 just so we can see enough of a difference between the two. And then again, we'll match it up to be 10 sides, just like the sphere. Now you can see when I try to move it into place, it's clicking into place, but never actually how I want it to be centered. And that's happening according to the default block grid. It's kind of snapping it. But if you want to get more nuanced with the position, you can hold Control or Command while dragging, and that'll give you smaller subdivisions to move around within. So in this case, I've adjusted the position by 0.5, which you're able to see at the bottom corner here while making that adjustment. Okay, this is coming along, but the last thing we need is the button on the front. And for that, I'm going to use a couple cylinders that are nested together. So we'll drop another one in here and reduce the size, and then move it into place. By default, it's facing up, and so we need to rotate it to be facing sideways. So we'll go here to the rotate tool, and now we can spin it around. You can see by default that my rotate controls for this new cylinder are way down here at the origin point that it was brought in at. So when we rotate it, it's making these giant arcs that really aren't the most useful. So if we want to spin it in place where it actually is, we can center the pivot point of the object by going up to this button here called Center Pivot. And that redefines those pivot controls from the middle of that object. So now it actually rotates in place. Except in my case, I placed it a bit too far within the sphere to begin with, so we're starting to kind of lose it clipping in there. But you can see when I bring it out, I've rotated it 90 degrees, and I'm just centering it along that edge of the sphere.
Yeah, 90 degrees, yeah.
For the second cylinder, I'll duplicate this one and drag it away from the original.
See, normally I would call the person in the video Greg, but Greg's really throwing me off
Now this thing
because
looking like it's ready for some
we have a
color.
Greg.
And by the
We
way,
already have a
this
George.
has this multi-tone gray sort of pattern on it.
Slow down, Greg. Just pop it in. I have a work soon, eating lunch. Nice. This is cool. I started using Godot quite recently. Come from a developer background. It's fun. The GUI's rough to learn. Yeah, I mean, every engine has its things, you know. How's Blockbench compared to Blender, and are you using this for your Godot game? The plan is to use this for Godot games. I think the first game that I'm actually going to use this on is I have a hexagon matching game, and I've always wanted to have like interesting pieces for it. And so I think that that'll be my first attempt to use this, is to build cool pieces for that game. But so far, I mean, this is literally it's the stream time into doing 3D stuff. Besides the tutorial I had a while ago from Dev. So 18 minutes into this journey. Going back to the hex game, I think I'll just try to make pieces for it. And I don't know. Guys, I gotta get something out. And I'm just like, I'm lost in the woods. Lost in the woods. Making the right amount of noises of acknowledgement. Excellent. For Gregory will be sticking with Blender. What was the game you're working? From yesterday? Or no, you're new. You're new here, so Zen is well, we're working on a clone of a game called G Police. I guess he did something like that. And then he buried it in there. Like our feelings. That's what we do. We bury our feelings inside somewhere. Excellent. Then I'm guessing he duplicated. Duplicate. I'm guessing he duplicated.
No. For the second cylinder, I'll duplicate this one and drag it away from the original.
Duplicate.
Then I'll use the resize tool to make it smaller. And now this thing is looking like it's ready for some color. And by the way, you might be wondering why this has this multi-tone gray sort of pattern on it. And that's just the default look when there's no artwork defined yet.
Nope.
The default gray pattern has this looking a little bit like the Death Star at the moment. But if we want to paint this up with our own colors, we'll move on from the Edit tab into the Paint tab.
Bro, chill, bro.
Now, set of controls along the top.
Gregory.
I'm selected on a paintbrush, and I've got a black.
Gregory, slow down.
Picker. But if I try to paint on
Gregory?
it's giving me this message: this surface does not have a texture.
We never talk anymore, Gregory. Stop, Gregory.
File that's going to store the artwork information for us. So to create a texture
Gregory!
object, we first need to create a texture file that's going to store the artwork information for us. So to create a texture for the full object, we first need to select everything. You can use Control A or drag a selection if you'll.
There's our UV over here.
And we can see what's been selected from this list here. Then we'll go over here and click Create Texture. This is going to bring up a panel to configure the texture settings. I haven't played around with anything extensively here yet, other than just realizing that the pixel density setting will give you a finer pixel grid to allow for more detail. But for today, we're going to stick with the default setting of 16, and just going to click Confirm on this. Now we can see it's become this multicolored Pokeball.
Oh, look at that!
Mapped all of those surfaces and kind of unfolded them to create the texture sheet. The cool thing, the thing I really like about Blockbench is that we can actually just paint pixels directly onto the model itself, and it'll update that corresponding texture sheet as well.
Well, thanks for explaining how you did that.
All the pixels
Slow down, Greg.
Grid there. So
Greg, slow down.
those surfaces and kind of unfolded them to create the texture sheet.
How?
The cool thing, the thing I really like about Blockbench is that we can actually just paint pixels directly onto the model itself.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so we got to click over to paint. You didn't mention that, you son of a bitch. First, draw the circle. Now draw the owl. Why are we at like an angle here? What's that about, brah? He's got his are all nice and straight. Why am I what's going on here? These ones are all straight down here. Why is this one weird? Okay. Something's fishy over here, bras. Something's fishy. Pellet? No, ain't right. Pooh, how's it going? How you doing? So, what do we do about this texture, boys? Bro said to just select everything and say, hey, make texture. Texture. But we're clearly wrong. Our lines are wrong for this texture. Perhaps we'll select again. Perhaps we'll choose texture. Perhaps we'll delete this. Uh-oh. Create texture. Okay. Pixel density. Rearrange UV. Create a new V face giving a face. Power of 2 size. Keep multiple texture occupancy. Combine islands. Islands in the stream. That is what we are. Bro! It's doing it again. Crap. I'm already in the land of I can't replicate what the tutorial did. But he has the same thing. He's not going to mention that?
And it'll update that corresponding texture sheet as well.
Okay.
And you can see that all the pixels are just...
Oh, yeah. See, he's got the same... No, but his is fine. Why is his fine and mine isn't?
So I'm going to get this one started by getting all the solid base...
Why? Mine looks almost identical to his.
...colors in. And I'll do this more efficiently by...
Why is mine doing this?
...and setting it to the face setting, which means it's going to drop solid colors into a face of the object. So it's fairly easy to run through this way and just give a solid base coat to everything.
Ooh, face setting.
Colors.
Copy brush, paint bucket. Face setting.
One minor
Slow
thing
down.
to notice along the way is that the painting grid
Paint bucket.
always have
Face.
square pixels. Like we can see here that these ones look a bit rectangular.
Pokeball.
And I'm not sure if this was some sort of
Pokemon jockey.
but I got it to sort itself out by toggling the painting grid button off and then on again. And after doing that, now we can see that it looks way more even and appropriate. And keep in mind,
wait.
this sort of visual glitch wasn't actually affecting the way
Wait, he just talked about something.
painted on the model. It really was just what I was seeing for the grid level visualization.
Yeah, go back.
Keep in mind this sort of visual more even and appropriate. And keep in mind this sort of visual glitch wasn't actually affecting the way that the pixels were being painted on the model. It really was just what I was seeing for the grid level
Painting
visualization
grid?
of where I thought the pixels were going to
Tile
be,
view?
if that makes sense.
Yeah, but I don't see it.
Right, with that sorted out,
Bro.
flat coloring put in, and
Hold on, let's go back.
toggling the painting grid button off and
Painting
on.
grid. Toggle off and on. Okay.
And after doing that, now we can see that it looks way more even and appropriate. And keep in mind this sort of visual glitch wasn't actually affecting the way that the pixels were being painted on the model. It really was just what I was seeing for the grid level visualization of where I thought the pixels were going to be, if that makes sense. At any rate, with that sorted out, I got the rest of the flat coloring put in, and then I also want to make sure that I get the undersides of those.
Oh, yeah, it's gotta be white.
And if you need to access tighter spots like that, you can toggle the visibility of other layers just so they're not getting in the way. Sometimes you don't really see those sides in the final presentation anyway, but I think it's nice to have it all taken care of just in case it ends up being visible at certain angles. So
He was talking about stuff, wasn't he?
Still doesn't really have that pixel art flavor to it because this is all
Was he
just
doing
solid
this?
colors. So the next thing I'm going to do is to go back into the paint mode and use the brush tool to just dot in some highlights and shading that not only make the artwork pop a little bit more, but it'll also allow us to appreciate some of that charming pixel texture that this can have.
Just,
Part,
bro.
I'm my colors from the preset palette off to the side, and then sometimes tweaking them a little.
This is like art class. Slow down,
Always
teacher.
use a shifting approach to these selections, where the highlights along the red part of the model become more yellow as they get brighter.
Stop! It's the Tonka truck of 3D modeling. Hell yeah! Implementing status effects. Nice. An orb drone. Nice. Friend zone confirmed. Friend capture. It's a Pokemon game, but you're capturing friends because you're lonely. Powered cloned friend zone. Oh, yeah. So you're asking girls out and they're constantly...
At any rate, with that sorted out, I got the rest of the flat coloring put in.
So he does have the weird... He's got the weird thing going on.
And I also want to make sure that I get the undersides of those hemisphere shapes.
I don't like that.
And if you need to access tighter spots like that, you can...
Tighter spots, baby. Gotta access those tighter spots, you know. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. And I think it goes without saying, but right now, current event X, I really don't want to talk about that. So we're just gonna not talk about current event X. No, thank you. Okay. And it's Pokeball. So the gray is all around, around like this, right? All right. Hey, how'd you do those UVs? My auto UV button isn't doing shit. So I selected all. And I selected all the objects. Oh, I'm in paint mode. That's why it's not letting me. Okay, so I selected all. And right here you can... oh, no, over here. The create texture Control Shift T. Control Shift T. And then I just did the automatic stuff like he said. Pixel density is how many dots you're going to have to draw on the thing with. I'm guessing the eye that's to the right on the list of the objects should allow you to show high the ones you don't need. Eye that's on the... Oh, I see. Oh, then we can do... so then we could do white. Like we could do white right there. White! Cool. So now we're white all over the place. And then this sphere. Red. Okay. And then the cylinder. I don't know. The grays may be a little too dark. But I don't know. Friend zone. That sounds like a good game. It's about getting in the friend zone. Like tips on how to get in the friend zone. Friend zone is a funny concept. Because it's just like, dude, she's not into you. It's that simple, man. You can call it what you want to call it. She just didn't like you.
Of other layers, just so they're not getting in the way. Sometimes you don't really see those sides in the final presentation anyway, but I think it's nice to have it all taken care of, just in case it ends up being visible at certain angles.
Yeah, I mean, if you clip into the model, and then you happen to look up and see the bottom of, you know, I could see that being... That's where you write a secret message like, I love you, Greg. Or Deborah. In this case, I would use Deborah as a placeholder name. Say, I love you, Deborah.
So this is looking pretty good, but it still doesn't really have that pixel art flavor to it because this is all just solid colors.
You're solid.
So the next thing I'm going to do is to go back into the paint mode and use the brush tool to just dot in some highlights and shading that not only make the artwork pop a little bit more, but it'll also allow us to appreciate some of that charming pixel texture that this can have.
You're charming.
For the most part, I'm selecting my colors from the preset palette off to the side.
Uh-huh.
and then sometimes tweaking them a little bit to my own tastes.
See, but why do I have these angles there, bro?
These selections where the highlights along the red part of the model become more yellow as they get brighter.
I have angles here, bro.
The opposite way.
Why isn't he talking about that?
Similarly, for the bottom half of the model.
Oh, it doesn't affect the faces.
And this allows for a slight change of color.
See, this is weird that it even wraps differently for his. Look at that. Like right here, his wrapped. Like, how do you break down the wrapping and control that a little bit more? I mean, in Unreal, it's real straightforward. Unreal, sorry, Blender. See, because mine's at an angle. I don't know if I like that. Must run, gotta see you. All right, Jacob, thanks for hanging out.
The highlights along the red part of the model become more yellow as they get brighter, while the shaded areas lean the opposite way toward more of a purple color.
The colors I'm doing are all wrong.
Half the model, I'm giving a slight blue tinge
Purple?
to the white, and this allows.
I got no purple here.
Color along with brightness when defining the shadows for that one, and in general, just looks a bit more dynamic and a bit more vibrant than if it were completely grayscale. All right, once we've got everything painted up.
Ooh, okay, this is interesting. So the palette, we can import different ones. Okay. Your type, slider mode, square, wheel. I'm more of a wheel kind of guy myself. Hue versus RGB. So you went with like a purple. Deep purple. And he did like that. Is he doing that for the whole thing?
Way toward more of a purple color.
Purple? Purple.
To that angle to be.
Whoa.
To define the half of the model, I'm giving a
Purple?
blue tinge to the white.
Giving this like blue tinge.
Along with brightness when
Look at see how. So he's just okay with that. We're just gonna be okay with that. We're just gonna live with that. Okay. Each his own. Whew. This guy living on the edge, man. He don't give a shit. He doesn't have OCD.
The opposite way toward.
Opposite, right? The light's over here and the shade is over. Okay. You down with OCD? Yeah, you know me. Gives no heckin' dang about it. You seem like a wheel guy. That's what we always say about you. Neurotic by nature. Oh no, I missed the thing.
More of a purple color. Similarly, for the bottom half of the model, I'm giving a slight blue tinge to the white. And this allows for a slight change of color along with brightness when defining the shadows for that one.
Ooh, what happened here?
And in general, just looks a bit more dynamic and a bit more vibrant than if it were completely grayscale.
And then he kind of...
All right, once we've got everything painted up, we can export a rotating animation of the model by going up to View.
I mean, his shading doesn't actually make sense, but it's a circle, so...
This will give you a few parameters. The turntable speed here represents how fast it's going to scale.
Two turntables in them.
Means one rotation every second.
Hey, hold on.
Now, that sounds a bit fast to me, so I'm going to use a value of 15, which means it'll take 4 seconds to complete one rotation. Next, we want to define the length of the animation, and I'm simply going to set this to turntable rotation.
Hold still, mother.
Like to one complete rotation, and therefore we'll have a perfect loop point for the animation to recycle over and over.
What?
And I'm sure an FPS at the default of 20 is fine, but I bumped mine up to 30 just because that's the frame rate I use for my videos.
What?
So I figured I'd match it up just to be the same.
What? Why are we talking about?
We're now in a framing mode where we can frame out our shot and kind of rotate.
Oh, it's like making a GIF. Okay.
We've got that all for that one. And in general, these selections where the highlights along the red part of the model become more yellow as they get brighter, while the shaded areas lean the
Check
opposite
Discord.
way,
Nice. Let's see what you got.
purple color.
Show me what you got.
Similarly, for the bottom.
Oh, am I in voice chat right now? No. Okay, thank God. Some things happen in this room that I don't want people to hear, you know? Wow, that's dope. Look at that. That's awesome. It's like he's learned how to do this. And he's got like a nice little tan underbelly. Worked really hard on it for 10 minutes, and I'm extremely proud. You should be. This is amazing. This is great. Greg the Great. That's what we call Greg. Gregory the Great. Excellent work.
Bottom half of the model, I'm giving a slight blue tinge to the white. And this allows for a slight change of color along with brightness.
I don't know what to do. Dude, so I am going to stay on you about the stuff you're working on. This is going to happen. We're going to make this happen. I almost called you the other day because I realized I had your phone number. But I thought, is that weird? Is that weird if I do that? I think I have your phone number. And I talked myself out of it. I was like, I don't want to creep this guy out. It's funny, like making friends when you're older is a bit like, it is kind of like dating. Where you're like, let's go across the blue spectrum. Alright, so we're going to blue.
Finding the shadows for that one. And in general, just looks a bit more dynamic and a bit more vibrant than if it were completely grayscale.
Yeah, you're grayscale.
All right, once we've got everything.
Your mom is grayscale. Can we hide everything but? If I have this selected, can we hide inverse? Can we hide?
This will give you a few parameters. The turntable speed here.
So hold on. 2 turntables in a doesn't seem to be an easy way to do that, so I'm just gonna do it like that. I don't know exactly what this bro did. I'm just gonna do this the way that I feel like we should do it. So I didn't actually see what this bro did. See, it feels like this should be dark. This whole thing should be dark. Why don't we just do that? Sure. I guess we could paint faces here, so let's do that. Paint bucket, no shortcut for that apparently. Go like this. Whoops. And then we're gonna bring it downtown. Bring it around town. Bring it around town. You think, did he do like around this? He did do something like that. What happened to her? Do we have a color picker? Whoa. That's why that didn't look right. Brush is B. B. Okay, brush. B. A do. I don't care when my dog runs away. I don't get angry at the bills I have to pay. Let's see, I'm gonna go like that. He should be teaching you how to use the gradient tool. This would be a good thing. Well, it is the blind teaching the blind. He literally said, I don't know what I'm doing. Pretty much how I would, if I was making any of these videos, it's exactly what I would lead with. It's like, look, bros, you're listening to a guy who just started using this. And that's where we're at. The excited, I just learned something, so I want to teach it to somebody else thing is an important phase of learning. But unfortunately, it feels like it can lead to some, you know, you end up with some bad... You can get some bad advice that way, too. I don't know. I don't know. Sure. We're just painting. I do think this is the tough part with something like this is they're painting in lighting. And I think that what I'll be doing with the stuff that I do is specifically not that. It's going to be texture, right? We're going to focus on texture. We're not going to create our artificial lighting, I don't think, with the texturing that I'm doing. So, unless we go with a no light game, if we do like PS1 lighting, and we just don't have lighting in the game, I mean, that's a choice, right? So we could go that route with something. That's all right. All right, we made a Pokeball. It looks like shit. It looks like when you do your first thing and you're copying the art teacher and you do something and it looks like shit. So that's kind of what you expect, right? I'm gonna just go like that. I don't know. This is looking like shit. Okay. You did great. I know, this is take home to mom kind of thing. I still remember this jerk kid that stole my art that I made that I was really proud of. Fucking stole it. I confronted him about it too. Tried to get the teacher to help. And she backed him up. And I was like, he didn't make this. And I showed her the art that was his that still had his stuff on it. And I was like, this is his. This is the only art remaining on the board. I don't have mine. He has one. And here's one with his name on it. Teacher, which one does he have? Like, and this was in second fucking grade. And I'm using like deductive reasoning. And I think what had happened is the teacher was like a cop, basically, where they're like, they already decided and then they were proven wrong. And so they had to double down. And that's basically what happened in that scenario. And that's when I first started having a healthy fear of authority. That's when I was like, I don't know about this authority thing. Can we paint bucket? We don't want to do a face. We want to fill color. Can I go like this? Yeah, that works. That's better. It's still too dark. So I think we got to go like this and then bring it up a smidgen. That's a little. Bring it down. But you would think being shown someone's art with their name on it, written in their handwriting, and they have something else in their hand, that would be enough. But I honestly think that you can't help but have adults think, you little shit, like, you're not going to get the best of me, you little turd. And that's literally what the teacher's probably thinking and feeling in their head. And so they're teaching you. They just don't realize it. They're teaching you something. I learned it from you, Miss Stefan. I learned it from you. Okay. That's a little bit better. I don't know. Still looks like shit. Go down a bit to add black, and right a bit to saturate more. Down a bit for black, right a bit for saturate. Saturate, but this is desaturate. Well, up and to the right is desaturate. Is it down and to the left to saturate? Dude, my teacher for art, also a Czech language. Yeah, this is backwards. Of course it is. Of course it is. Some pedantic reason for that, I'm sure. My teacher for art didn't like me, so during the art class, she grabbed my water painting, showed it to the entire class, and told them this is not how you should do it. Excellent. Excellent teaching. We all had someone who made school fun for us. Literally, all the other programs have saturate on the other side. That's pretty funny. What if we do picker type as square? Now it's down and to the right. I wonder if that's true for wheel, though. Is wheel like this, typically? For square, it's the other way. Down and to the right. Back and to the left. Alright, so we have our Pokeball. And then he's going to make the Pokedex. Back and to the left. And I watched this part, so he groups these together. And we're in the wrong thing, so we need to go back to edit, which is, what button do I press? That's nice. It doesn't tell me. Help. I guess we go to the wiki and we're looking for keyboard. Okay. It hates our guts. Keyboard. API reference. Really? Blockbench keyboard shortcuts. Overview and tips. Oh, that's a big toot. That was I ripped a big one. Was that an audible? Did you guys pick that one up? That's the check your diaper kind of situation. Shift tab. Negative Ghostwriter. That was a very loud rip. I let it rip. Oh, God. What if we search shortcuts? Documentation, dialogue. This is all API stuff. Oh. Legacy versions, overview and tips. Slots, interface, toolbars, edit mode. Nothing. Sliders. Is there a mode here? This is just edit. That's not the mode. Tools. Toolbox. A lot of these don't have shortcuts. Panels. Panlays. Split screen. It's images. Quick start wizard. Quick start wizard. Whoa, 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 whoa. No, that's not. Search and run action. Edit. Oh, here's one way we could learn it. That's funny. It doesn't give us. What about paint? Painting grid. These are all settings. They seriously don't have a way of swapping between these three. Probably often swapped it into things. I guess maybe. Supple wrist. Oh, when they saw the Pokeball? Dude, patents. I mean, software patents are already kind of bullshit. But the patent, you don't patent an idea. That's not how this fucking works. Like, oh, I have an idea. Let me patent it. It's like, no. It's like, so fucking stupid. My guess is that won't hold up in court, and whatever the equivalent of a patent being like nullified would happen. It's a mechanic. Everyone who does board games knows that essentially any mechanic somebody else can use. They just can't they can't take the setting, theme, or whatever of your game and the name of the thing, and they can't do all of that and say, hey, this is new. But if I want to make Monopoly, I can make Monopoly. I just don't call it Monopoly, and I change the names of the elements of it, and bam, I'm free. That wouldn't stop necessarily some piece of shit company from coming after you to try to get you to stop doing it. This looks like shit. Speaking of cuss words. All right. You cussing me? You cussing at me? All right. All right. Speaking of poop, I'll be right back, guys. All those toots were leading to something he knew. The darkness comes. The darkening. All right. Internet search says Samsung has the most in the tech industry. Oh, Pat and mechanics. Okay, so let's just go through the process of getting this into Godot. How about that? File. So how do we save the project? Save project as. So this is a Blockbench project. So I can't put this in a project in Godot and just have it work like I can with how Blender is so effortlessly tied into it. If I go to Space Cop and I put it in here under assets, and then I open it up, we're not going to have our friend, I don't think. Dude, my tummy is upset. Upset. Checking assets. Yeah, I don't see it. Negative Ghostwriter. Uh-oh. So this is already, I don't like the workflow. Unless there's a command line for Blockbench. Let's check. CLI. Documentation. Command. Export. If I can automate this, I'll be chill with it. Because if I can build, if there's a CLI, then I can just have I can do something as simple as a button inside Godot that'll just execute the creation of all. I'll have a Blockbench directory. You know, it's not part of the export of the game, but then when I hit this button, it goes to that directory and shits everything out that I want, right? So I could do it that way, but it's just like, I don't know if... It's got web app URL parameters. What is this? So there's parameters for a web app, but there's not... Blockbench CLI. Are we serious right now? Okay. So now we got our Pokeballs. So if we go to 3D, I can drop this in. Oh my god, it's enormous! compared to the other stuff that I'm dealing with. Okay, so we have a Pokeball. Now here's another question with Blockbench. Can we can do emissives. So let's create a new texture. We're going to call this one emission. Whoops. Let's select, we want to do an emission just on this, and we want to make this thing glow. I don't know how this is going to work with both. So then we're going to go here. So how do I paint just on this texture? I just pick that texture. And paint bucket and something glowy. Okay, so we're painting an emission. So how does this work? Like, what makes... How does this work? Let's go here. Properties. Mode emissive. Confirm. And it's weird that Control S wants to just save the texture. It's like if I go back to edit, it still just wants to save the texture. Control Shift Alt S to save the project, or Control Alt S, and that actually still does the same damn thing. Control Alt S. What the hell? Control Alt S. It opens up something totally different. Save project. So literally, I can't even hit this. Okay, so let's export it again. I can't stand this workflow already. This is insane. Okay, so we have a Pokeball. Let's go ahead and go to our friend here. And we're going to look at cylinder mesh. Look at that. So how do we have... You guys see what I'm trying to do and what's happening? Well, it's much better with Blender. It's really smooth with Blender, but not this way. This is more Blockbench that I'm complaining about. Like, once you understand the process with Blender, it's actually not so bad. But yeah, I'm so far... So this should have multiple surfaces, but it doesn't. But the new integration makes it better since it can work with blend files. Yeah. Yeah, once I realized, like, with Blender, you can do everything in Blender. You can do the textures, like, all of it can exist in the world of Blender, and any change you make in Blender will reflect in Godot, which is really nice. But texture group. So how do we... Now this suddenly... See, this is weird now, right? Oh, look at that. So we can do our own UVs. Oh. So if we go to paint, like I don't like this one. So with this one, I can go, I could just select the texture here. No, I want to select the one. Nope. Just the one. Ah, I see. If I take the UV... There we go. And then we rotate this. Now, if we go back to paint... Hey! Okay. Now, obviously, that's up to us. But we can paint this, we can pack this in a different way if we feel so necessary. Okay. No. And I can teach you how to do make Pokeballs in Blender in less time than it took you. Ah, you've never tried to teach me before, though, Greg. I know, everyone's telling me about Nintendo's patents. Nintendo's up to their old tricks again. Tricksy. That's tricksy, Nintendo. So tricksy, Nintendo. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the workflow I'm not a fan of so far. I can't believe there's no CLI for this thing. Let's go to their website. They have, so for download, they do have a portable version. So let's just try executing. There's nothing. Cool. Just loads up another one. Ambient occlusion. Ambient occlusion. You and Harry Potter are on thin ice.
Shut up and take my money.
Colt with the Prime subscription. Appreciate that very much. Thank you. Ambient occlusion. Have you thought about a Blender to Unity pipeline? We tell you about our Lord and Savior, the Blender to Unity pipeline. Oh shit! What is it, honey? It's some Unity guy. He's wearing a lanyard. Boo, says Colt. Howdy fam, Twitch is loading like crap today in Firefox, but at least we have health. And this is true. Free rotation. Free cola! Mission. In renders. What about normals, baby? Negative. Shading tab. In Blender, you can change the property of the textures through nodes in the shading tab. Unlike Sketchfab, Blender requires users to... Why are we talking about Blender? What are we talking about any of these things for? No. We want to be in our world. What? What is this? Why is it talking about Blender? In order to create any sort of render, you need rendering software. So this thing can't even... What the fuck? This is pathetic! I could have sworn I saw this. So this is using PS1 lighting, right? It's fake. Oh, no, we don't want to do that. I saw something with lights in here, I swear. I feel like I saw something with lights. Dude, this is a lie. This model here is a lie. This is are they serious? This in order to do this, you have to take this out of Blockbench and put it in Blender. And then bring it back into Blockbench. Look at this bloom and everything. This isn't Blockbench. Sketchfab. The fuck? So I can't just make... What is this about then? What is this? What is this for? So what is emissive then? Maybe I'm render mode. Okay, so that means something different than... Well, fuck. I don't know that I like this anymore. I don't like you. And I definitely don't want the pipeline to be build it in here, export it into a format, import it into Blender, and then do that stuff. Emissive is a specific sheet that controls the glow so that the card does have an emissive texture. Yeah, so I tried that on the Pokeball and it's just not working. It's like taking over the texture for that part. It does the whole material. Let's check this one's material. Ah! Albedo. Mission. There's nothing here. Magical voxel. I mean, I'm just trying this one. It looked the most promising. I've literally, this is like the second time I've ever touched any 3D. This is the second time in my entire life. So this is 5 hours of ever doing any 3D anything, like from modeling. Probably my entire life. Voxel. I don't know. One thing about this for sure is you really need to know the scale of what it is you're doing. We're at a certain scale, right? So why can't we get our emissive working proper here? Is it like, there's enable layers. What is this? Layer. Blend mode. Okay, that's interesting. Create material. Texture material. Okay, hang on. I think we're looking a little bit better right now. Emissive. Okay, hang on. Let's this workflow is insane. You can tell the software isn't used by anything large. Oh, everything's all shitty now. Let's see what it looks like now. Don't save that. Don't stand so... Oh wow, look at that. I screwed it up. Open anyways. Now it looks right. What's that about? Shadow mesh. The shadow knows. Material 1. There's no emission. Does the order matter? So you'll need an emissive and add an alpha mask for that emissive, and I'm just not sure how it all works in here. Yeah, neither am I. Just should... Yeah, no, and I'm not just shooting it down either. I'm just not sure... I mean, there's some... any choice I pick, there's conceits and all that stuff. I just don't think that the game that I'm making is a voxel game, like voxel art. That you can hook up to an emissive material, but that's so much work, you know? So we have a texture material here. So let's look up in the docs about material. And there's literally no documentation about it. Fucking dope. Textures. API reference. Oh, God bless America. Emissive. See, now this isn't the same as this one. I suspect... Let's get rid of you. Why are we blue all of a sudden? I think it took my friend away from me. We're gonna go over to paint, edit, select everything, create texture. Sure, why not? Put it in here. And you're going to be render mode emissive? Let's look up render modes. Maybe there's something in the docs about that. Is emissive textures and renders. Sketchfab. Wait a minute. Export emission map. Upload to Sketchfab. What the fuck? Export emission map. PBR tools. This is all Minecraft shit. I don't know that Blockbench is going to work. This was recommended by Jacob, but I don't think he's used it either. He just is like, oh, I think Blockbench is good. I heard it's good. But we may have... I was hoping to just have like a Play School blender. Tonka, like Greg, you know, saying it's like Tonka trucks. Hillfort uses it. Maybe I should drop a DM. I'm guessing there's a lot of like undocumented workflows here. Edit in Blockbench. Okay, so this is just Texture set JSON. JSON! Metal emissive roughness. Ooh, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Ah, hold on. Whoa, what's this? What's this? All right, I think we found something here. You know, it'd be cool. So is this a wiki? Can I edit this son of a bitch? No, of course not. It's a wiki that you can't edit. And it's not a goddamn wiki! God damn it! Things have names for reasons! Sorry.
You okay, guys?
This is a glurby blurb, guys. We call this a glurby blurb. My dogs have little ears here. I'm sorry. But yeah, the glurby blurb doesn't have what we're looking for. Might as well just call it a bloopity bloop. Because it doesn't mean what it God bless it. This encyclopedia, right? Good God. I was like, oh, let me contribute to this new community I've entered. It's a wiki. I'll be able to... Nope. You don't... What are you talking about, edit a wiki? Oh, my God. Sorry, guys. Okay. So then, let's try... Ooh. Why? Why is that happening? Okay. Let's try creating an emission for just the cylinder, like we were trying. What were we doing? How did I get there? Oh no, I lost it. How did I find that? Ooh, height maps. Wait, hang on a minute. So normals, metal emissive roughness. Okay, hang on. PBR channel. Normal. Okay. Emissive roughness. Okay. So how do we do this? Okay. Okay, so now let's try... Irad, how's it going? Hillfort. Am I following Hillfort? Let me double check. Is Hillfort a streamer? Did they go by a different name on their streaming? MER is texture packing, where it puts a different value on each channel for PBR textures. Does stream Hillfort Games. Hillfort Games is the... Oh, yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we have... Now, let's check the cylinder. Check the material. It's not an emission. God bless it. Surface material. This looks like it's having a stroke. So we're going to go over this again. No emission. PBR. We're just trying to learn how this would work. Generate PBR map. PBR channel height. Emissive. This is emissive. Source. Value? Sure. Confirm. What is this? Dude, I don't know. Generate PBR. Generate PBR map. Height. Normal. Whoa! So, just because I can do this, this is the crazy part about this. That's a green channel. So, the crazy part about this is like, I can do all this in here, but I can't see what it's going to look like. This is lunacy. I mean, I guess the point would be to be able to do this and then get it into Blender or something. Right? Still not showing it proper. That's how 3ds Max would work. Because he wants Nintendo to take everything he owns. Yes, that's the plan. There might be a window with a preview. Blend mode. Edit. View. View mode. Solid texture. Material preview. What the fuck? Ground plane. Preview scene. Studio. Preview scene. Studio. So far, I don't even know how to, I don't know how to redo. Control Y. Yeah, okay. Sure. Control Y. All right. Deep dark. Sure. And Minecraft EULA. See, there's an emissive. Oh, that's just a fucking, oh my god, how embarrassing. Space. Albedo base color is represented by color values texture. The rest, metalness, opacity, reflection, emissions are all represented in a black and white spectrum, where black is... Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. Generate PBR map. So then why is this... See how we're seeing PBR channel emissive... Source is brightness. Saturation. It should be brightness, right? Why is it green? But even so. All right, let's try this. How did we generate the texture material? Create texture. Texture group. How did I get to this? PBR channel. Maybe this needs to be it. So this is color. So it's not going to do it for me. Okay, that's not too bad because we can write an import script in Godot to do this automatically. If we know the way that we set it up in Blockbench, then it wouldn't be too bad to set it up to automatically make those adjustments on it. Just the way the import scripts in Godot is, whenever you do this, you drag something into a scene, it would just run. It runs whenever anything changes for the GLTF. It runs the import script and makes those connections for us automatically. I could script that very easily, so that's no biggie. Okay, all right, bro. So I guess what's confusing to me is I am used to. So if I copy this and then we do override, paste, and then we do emission on. And so here you would say green, the multiplier is green. Operator, the emission, is that what you're saying? No, but that's making it green. Multiply. I got chills on UV. Texture. God bless America. Let me read it again. We pack a channel of RGB value with a piece of that, since it's only black and white. Okay, I understand that. It's creating channels for you. But what's weird is I don't see that emission. Now, let me do a fresh export. See, these are two separate textures too. Okay, we're getting somewhere. But should I make an emission that literally the texture map matches both textures? Does that not matter? Channel pack textures. No, I am familiar with like bearing data using the RGB stuff because you can do all kinds of things with that information. So like, you know, there's the standard stuff, what you're talking about. I didn't know which was which. I always thought it was just black and white. But I guess you can think of it as black and white. And because it might be buried in the RGB, whatever. So I've built them by hand and pointed to them. So in the case of the emissive, so what is this though? Like, how do I, if this exists, this is set as add. The blend mode is add here. So do we want to paint the emissive? We're in the green channel. We don't have this. We just have this. And then we have the texture for the cylinder here. Now it's green. Texture. This is the material. So it's not albedo. We grab that texture. So instead, but that's not, we don't even have this texture anymore. This is wrong. Wrong, do you hear me? Wrong. Wrong me. Wrong, my brain's out. That scene in that movie was one of my great awakenings, as you would call it. where I was like, wait a second. What's going on here? Huh. Copy. So we wouldn't want this to be, look, see, it's wrong again. Why is it showing yellow? Something's cached in Godot land. Emission on, texture, quick load. This one. Ah! We got a glow, baby! Add, now, what we want to do is we want to glow the, so we just got to build a workflow. I think this could still work. The real bitch about this is that, like, we have zero control over how much something is in here, as far as I can tell. Properties, render mode. I don't know. Like, I can't adjust like we can in here how much of a thing it is. The energy multiplier and everything, it's just whatever the default is. Emission. So do we want this to be the green spectrum? Is that how that works? No. So like, what I would hope is that we could adjust it in engine. You should just do black and white mask and then adjust it in engine. None of that stuff gets set outside of engine. So even in this land, that's the black and white is how much. But then so is it, I forget, is it black that's I always get this mixed up. Is it black that's the existence of it? White is full. Okay. White.
Fartality.
We're gonna go white. But what about the color of the emission? Is that on the base color texture?
Jason!
There is a Jason in there. Jason! So how do I pick this texture to edit? Because right now we only see this one. Ah. Dude. Bro. Are you guys seeing this right now? Ah! That worked. What a load of horseshit. I just want to do this. You're a real mother effer. Stay calm, Cricket. Stay calm and collected. Everyone's watching to see what you will do. Everyone's watching. Tacos. Now look at that. Everybody's working. So why is that? We want this to be in front. See, look at that. Why did it go straight to the emission? Do we have to hide it? Apply to face. It's shared colors. I don't know. Close enough. Okay, let's export. Now it's just a glowing white color. I swear this was like... So then, is this the emissive color here? How did you assign the color for this sumbitch? How did you assign the color for this sumbitch? Because I could have sworn it was the other texture value. The albedo. So if I load the albedo, so this, it does need to be the same because this is going to be all kinds of wrong, right? It needs to be identical. We are learning. We are learning. So basically I could duplicate this. Duplicate. But then, so delete this. Duplicate. Metal emissive roughness. So that's all three. PBR channel. So we want to generate the PBR. So this is all three. So then that's why the color. So then we're saying metal, which is then, or emissive, which gets us green. Okay. So now the whole thing is going to glow. Well, not really, not yet, because of okay, we're starting to understand here. Yeah, I did do it separately, so that screwed some things up. If I could turn back, and then albedo, the albedo, color, texture. Oh yeah, we need to copy this some bitch. And put it into override. No, we don't have to. We do not have to. This should be our new one. Quick load. This is all kinds of wrong right now. We have the new one. Hold on a second. Why are these two not showing up? Let's rename this. I think we have a naming conflict. No? Confirm? I'm going to delete this. And this one. And we're going to go... We're learning. So this is typical Cricut stuff here, where we're more concerned about processes and tooling. Because the idea is that we're going to go through the process of making an actual game, which we never get to. Welcome to Cricket Stream. 24 hours of never making a game. This is game number 30 of not making a game. Okay, so those textures are gone. Okay. I think we're getting somewhere. I know it doesn't seem like it. Oh, why are we naked? Why? It's like it's not doing the export with the textures now. FBX model. Do I need to save the project for something to happen? Extruded texture. Let's do this. Delete the whole sumbitch. Don't save. I know just what you're thinking. Don't save. Export. Don't save it cause it hurts. Booda 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 booda. Look at that. It only does the one texture. What does that texture look like? Interessante. And now it doesn't seem to have it on it. What the fuck? So we end up with a texture. It shows it here. You know what, Godot? We're going to restart you because we're not feeling good about you in general right now. How many blocks can you bench? Come on, bruh. What was that? Oh, we've got like a hidden road there. That looks like a model to me, baby. New inherited. That looks like a model to me. Don't tell me cause it... surface. Take a look. Yeah. WTF. Let's add an environment. Sure. So we have a light source. Everyone's making that joke. That's how you get engagement when you're streaming. You just farm it. Add emissive. We've got 2 layers for some reason, but this is like not showing up. Let's try doing, can we do something for PBR here? PBR channel norm color, and then let's do generate PBR map normal. Height. So there's no color here. I understand what this is. What I don't get is why it's not being included in the export. Okay, I think I have an understanding. We're going to copy this material, paste it in here, and then if we do a mission and we load And so it's not emission. This should be called PBR or something. Look at that. It's wrapped wrong. Compared to albedo, which is just straight up color. What the fudge is going on here? I mean, okay, sphere for sure has a texture. I mean, I see it with my eyeballs. Look at that. Is it because I haven't painted? No, it's right here. And this is called emission PNG for some reason. And now it's because I've saved it. So now when I'm editing it, it will change it. Okay, that's interesting. It's asking here to save it. If I hit save. Oh. Okay, so now I can save the textures. If I just save this, it'll just update the texture. Okay, we're getting somewhere. But again, the alignment is not the same. Here, and this looks wrong. 64 by 64, that's fine. That's the same as this one. So why is it not lining up the same? Now, is it... Wow, my videos on TikToks are so successful that soon I'll have more wish lists on Steam. The alignment is chaotic neutral. Oh, man. Generate PBR map. Show in File Explorer. File not found. Okay. What if we take this out of texture material? Can we break through this? Break on through. Okay, so these are both out of texture material. So now we have texture material, but and then what's this? Hang on, this looks like something good. It opened and then went away. Color. Uniform. Metal emissive roughness. Look at this! This is where we can change this stuff. Metal, emissive. So this is the emissive. Woo! Okay, okay. Okay! Okay, so we're learning some things here. So now the question is, if I put this sumbitch in here, there's color. And if I put this sumbitch in here, there's the emissive roughness. Okay, subsurface scattering, question mark. Use the MER alpha channel for subsurface scattering. Heights. Okay. So that looks all right. Export. Save. Let's do a new name. Maybe Godot is doing something weird about caching something. Now look at this. It made another new texture here, but not for the emission. What is that crap about, guys? What is that crap about? There's our Pokeball. Open anyway. Sphere. Surface. Ooh, ooh. Emission. Nothing. On. Texture, quick load. This. Ooh, this is promising. Everything. It happened to everything. Almost everything. Why did it only happen to this one? Cylinder. Why is cylinder white? We don't know. Who knows, bro? Surface. Okay. Okay, hang on. Directional right. Toggle. Add environment.
Get ready for the ride of your life.
Hopefully. Hopefully soon. So we have the texture here. Emission. RGB. UV. Oh, we're glowing. We're glowing. You're glowing, love. You're glowing. Multiply. I got emissions. They're multiplying. It's electrifying. ER. EBR. Is this all packed now? I'm not sure. My older sister is lovely. About a month and a half ago or so, I got new glasses. Recently, she saw me with in them on a picture. Her reaction to her mom, "Oh, these look great. Thank God he got these ones. The previous ones were such boring old man ones. They're good. Nice." She said she liked my previous ones a year ago. Man. Spare me my feelings. Emissive. So how do we paint on these textures, bros? I do this drop down, it doesn't switch over to it. And the texture isn't even the right one anymore. It says it's pointing to it, but this is not updated. Oh, God. I find the way that siblings, female, and maybe I'm being like a gender, but mother to daughter conversations about sons tend to be different than daughter to daughter conversations about other daughters. If that makes any sense. You're always the baby. And maybe it's the order of the birth and everything. I found it hilarious. Yeah. Well, no, it is funny because it's just like, why'd you say anything? Like what do we accomplish here? What are we hoping to accomplish? What if I drag this in here? Nope. Paint. Can I pick what I'm painting, please? Christ! On a cracker. Okay, what if we change the order? Ah! Can I hide it? I can hide the layer. Look at this. Emissive. Why? Why? Do we need to... Okay. I think, therefore... Okay. Something's coming to Cricut. Something is coming to Cricut. Create texture. Yes, sir. Okay. Why did it only do that one? I don't know. Okay, so we have a texture. Here. We're going to go over to paint. And we're going to choose the cylinder. Now, you'd think it would be the same one. You would think it would be the same one. You'd think we would want the same mapping. You hope that it's the same mapping. Now, if this is PBR, right, I'm doing the wrong color. It should be a green. We know that. This is fucking horrible. This whole thing is horrible. You guys hear me? Horrible. Let's do the green. Some sort of green. Because this is going to apply to other things as well. Okay. So then we bring this sumbitch in here. Now why is Pokeball all of a sudden? Oh, because we hit it. Okay. Now they're both textures. So then we're going to say generate PBR map. This is emissive. Ah, that looks like something. Confirm. But then why is this here? What the chuck? I don't know. And now we have... Now this one has nothing in it. So the thing I drew shows nothing. Let's make it black. Maybe this is a Godot thing. Why is it making a new one? Good Lord. This doesn't have an emission. Oh, because I have an override on this. Let's get rid of the override. Now it's invisible. What? There's no override. Okay. Why is this one now... I'm in the kitchen making food. Nice. I'm just trying to understand what the hell's going on. This is material 0. Why are we material 1? Why are we material 1? Material 0. Copy. Paste. And now suddenly, look at this. Suddenly we're transparent. We got weirdness. God bless it. I'm gonna make all the Pokemons. You guys have no idea. You guys got no idea. These guys. Now this is enabled. Now hold on now. Wait, we've got emissions. Emission PNG. Hold on to your butts. Why is this happening? No, for real. Why is this happening? Can we open up recent? I don't want to create a new one. Pokey these balls. That's what they should say when you do stuff like this. Poke these nuts. Oh, cricket. Why is this white? Why is the one thing I'm trying to have be emissive not emissive? And everything... Damn it! Ah! Why is there a texture here? Let's get rid of this son of a bitch. Because I don't know why you're there. Oh, we're not dealing with Pokeballs 1. God bless it. Pokeballs 1. Look at this. Hold on. What's this? What's this? Pokeballs everywhere. What's this? What's this? What's this? Pokeballs are everywhere, smacking me in my face. I just want some Pokeballs. What's this? What's this? What's this? Scooby-Dooby-Dooby, Scooby-Dooby-Doo. I just want these Pokeballs right in my face. What's this? Okay, so now we're invisible except for that. Why? Mesh. Surface. It is a material. Oh. Really? Huh. Okay. But why is everything invisible? Because of the texture? But why can't I see it? This is the question that I'm asking you. I don't want to paint the emission. I want to paint this texture. This one I'm picking. The one I'm picking. What's this? I did, Slavo. I've been informed several times today. What's this? What is this? Scooby-Dooby-Dooby. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. What is... Now these ones... I feel like I'm in the land of the lost here, buddies. I don't know what's going on here. Can I close this project? Yes, I can just hit the... Oh my God, you guys. I've lost my work. I'm having a blast. I'm having a blast. Fine. He was singing. He was all happy. Cricket was all happy singing. It was great. And then he stopped singing. And they were singing. My, this here cricket guy lost his mind texturing in Blockbench one time. This'll be the day I Blockbench. This'll be the day I Blockbench. Cylinder. Now this is the one I want to have be glowy white. Okay. So please let me edit. Why? You are the color. I think the bigger trick to all of this too is if we go to edit here. Okay, I think the bigger trick to this too is, can I duplicate this? And if so, when I pick things on this, am I picking, which one am I picking right now? See, this is where I think it's lying to us. Yeah, it's lying to us. God damn. Okay. Okay. These are all okay. So how do I color the No automatic emission now. I decided for personal safety to get a dash cam when it arrived today. I expected it to be useless for the next 60 years, but I like the feeling of it. Even if it witnesses some other accident, it's incredibly useful. Does it record the inside of the cabin of the car? Oh no, Salvo, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, Salvo. You don't have to apologize. I'm not like that. Nah. Does it record audio? It's only front and rear. Okay. Recording the cabin is useful for if there's a claim that you didn't have your seatbelt on or something and you actually did. So recording the driver is actually incredibly useful, especially if they say you're distracted or something and you aren't. Like I saw you looking down at your phone and you weren't. If it has, this is like a piece of advice, if it has a microphone, if it records audio and you witness something, like somebody cuts you off or something, somebody's driving dangerously, and it does record the audio, then just say the license plate number, because you obviously can't look at your phone or anything. But when a car does do something really dangerous, just say the license plate number of the car out loud, so you have it on the recording, so you can reference it. It's something you might not think of in the moment, though, but if you can recall it, and any other descriptive details, because the chances are of that information showing up on the camera and enough fidelity to be able to read it is very slim. You're like the Jason Bourne of dash cams. I've seen enough cops screw with people, and I don't know. I do weird stuff just because I'm a little, I guess you could say, paranoid. But like when I take the kids out, they don't know the reason why we're doing this. They think we just like the way we want to take a picture of how they look. But I always take a picture of my kids when we go out in public, so that if they go missing, I have a picture of them, literally what they were wearing that day, so I can show this is exactly what they look like. Oh, it does record sound too. Okay, yeah, that's really useful. Yeah. Yeah, if the cops are like, you sped at that light or whatever, and it was somebody else, you can, if you have it on audio, generally you can tell, oh, that's not happening inside the vehicle, that's happening outside, but not the insides of the car. Oh, that's a bummer. It's just a suggestion. I don't know if you can return it, but it is I would suggest it to protect you from people who are supposed to be protecting you. So only the front and the rear cameras. Okay. Yeah, and if somebody does something crazy, right? If somebody steals something from your car, for instance, a lot of the ones that can record will record for an additional, say your car's powered off, they'll have a battery inside them and they'll keep recording. And then sometimes if somebody like steals something in your car or something, then you have a better picture of like who the person was and stuff, if they're like inside the vehicle or whatever. Not that, I mean, I don't think that any police anywhere in the world gives a damn about theft. It's almost like they're not there really to do the things that you would think they'd be there to do. It's very strange. Curious how that works out. This one, if you buy the card to plug it into the car records if there's a trimmer too. But I don't have that. Okay. Yeah. And there might also be tools to prevent tampering. Like you might be able to set a passcode on it or something. Again, if you don't have very honest police, they'll sometimes delete stuff like that. It's weird. You'd think if they were being honest and truthful, they'd want that information. But sometimes they'll just delete stuff off people's phones. It happens. It's a weird time we're living in, huh? Oh, if someone hits you, the camera records. Yeah, I would suggest setting it on a loop. I'm sad. I just bought an F-150 with 360 view cameras, but it doesn't record any of it. At least I have no access to it. What I bet it does record, though, is the two little cameras pointed at the driver, considering I don't have access to that. I'm tempted to tape those up. So how do you not have access to them? Is it like you have to have a subscription or some bullshit like that? The absolute best cameras, the absolute best dashboard cameras. Okay, if you're super paranoid, they just don't usually record. That's weird. The ones I've gotten, I just set on a loop. So it'll record like 3 days worth of video and just kind of cycle through it. But the best ones upload to the web. There's some really dirty cops that have gotten caught deleting dashcam video because it uploads to the web from the cell phone network. You just have to buy extra. Okay, cool. So they can make sure you're still paying attention. Eyesight tracking is the stuff for like, oh, so it doesn't actually record. I'm not distracted when using the auto freeway driving feature. Please state BS. Well, actually, that would be useful in court to exonerate yourself. Especially if you can download a record from the car, and the police claim you were distracted. You can literally say no. Like, you just need to know if you can pull the evidence up. Don't tell the cop that you have the evidence, because they'll change the reason why they pulled you over. But take the ticket and then fight it in court. If you can prove that you have a car that shows that you're not distracted and you can download the logs somehow, then you can prove your innocence. Not that the word of the almighty police officer is greater than actual evidence, depending on the judge, I suppose. That's why it's so important to have video for an interior dash. Just don't, if you get pulled over for like looking at your cell phone when you didn't, or not having your seatbelt on when you did, just don't tell them you have a recording of it, because they will change the reason why they pulled you over. Just be like, oh, you know what? That's weird. Huh. Okay. Don't admit anything either. Just kind of non-agreeable statements, and then be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, you just go ahead and give me a ticket, and I'm sorry that you saw that. All you're saying is like, it's like, I'm not admitting anything. And then you just drive off and you got to go to court and it's all fucking shitty. Then you go, here's the video of me not being distracted, or not having my, I watched too many videos of cops fucking people over. It sucks. All right. I got Comic-Con this weekend locally. I'm gonna meet Jason Lee, another Jason, the guy Jason Mewes, I think his name is, the guy who plays Jay, and then Crabman guy. Everyone, basically all the dudes from My Name Is Earl, and then who else is going to be there? There's a couple other actresses and stuff. The girl from the girl from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and Matilda are also going to be there. Stealing Harvard. Mine's a guy thing. That'll be neat. Check the smells. I want to know how it smells. Yeah, that'll be really interesting, because like, this is a very like, I just don't. I'm so scared that it's going to be such a small turnout. It freaks me out how nervous I am for the people putting this thing together, because they really pulled out all the stops for like this no-name area. It's like, wow, there's actually like a lot of voice actors and like a ton of stuff. Packs smell bad, and I'm curious about other cons. I think the smell thing is like a universal problem. It smells like sour milk, right? Is that, you know, the smell I'm talking about? It's like, it's so bad it's hard to eat at those places. It was a lot of piss, actually. Oh no. Oh my god. Holy smokes. So often that at points, at times I was worried it was me. Did I leak? Am I really that old? You're like, what happened? Edit externally. Edit in Blockbench. So this is the emissive and the metalness. And it sucks because it is going by red, green, and blue. But if I make it white, let me just see this. But see, it's not, damn it, it is, so that is additive. And metalness is red. So if I edit, so everything's going to be real shiny if I can get this working. But see, this doesn't look like it's doing, there we go. That's adding. Okay. Now let me just try this on one of these. So how do I tell it? I need it to split out into individual textures. Because it doesn't look like I can say, hey, take this texture and only take the green from it. Use UV2 to read from the emission texture. What does that mean? Okay, hang on a second. Metallic. See, this lets you choose the texture channel here. Roughness, same thing. So like I can do metallic on here. It's red. Yeah. Yeah, and we've got like a sheen to it now, right? And the whole thing does that now? Why can't we do that on emission? There has to be a way. I'm worried the answer is going to be a shader. That's my fear. Now, I felt like it was something about like operator, like multiply. I feel like multiply did something before. Setting it to green. But metallic does appear to work, as far as I can tell. Because if I get rid of the texture, yeah, there's yeah, you can see the relief on the and actually if we add sun to scene and then we do environment. So I forget what makes it rough and shiny. Is black more shiny? Or is am I super rough? Let me go neutral on this. Paint bucket. Shiny is really hard to see in low poly. Yeah, I wonder if it's like if you don't have normals, you're not gonna have. Now we're like mostly invisible. What the hell happened there? Let's look at our. Oh, look at that! I don't have a bunch of it painted. The whiter. How does it work with a Pokeball? Is the white the big sphere is it's black with a, so this should be gray. Okay, this is for sure. Why isn't it updating right? Dude, I swear this what the fuck? It's like it's not updating. There we go. Yeah, Godot this is something that Greg was talking about, where you'll update a model and it doesn't like, it's like not upgrading. It's not upgrading. What am I saying? It's not updating proper. So like some of this stuff I'm working on, it's like I don't even know really if it's something I'm doing wrong or if it's something else. Like I was able to edit this surface here last time, but I shouldn't because I'm not overwriting. So metallic. So hang on a second. Is metallic and roughness shared on? So emissive is missing here. Metalness. Generate PBR maps. We have roughness. So that's where we need something to now that's weird because now we have roughness here, but when I go to edit it, it's not in our list. Dude, this is killing me. And it won't let me. Everything is like, yeah, I'm kind of working. All right, so we want real blue. Gonna eyeball it. All right, good enough. Okay, let's see what we can do. Metallic, quick load. Ah. Dude, what is going on? Why am I not seeing the thing at the bottom? What a waste of time. It's not a waste of time. It just feels like it. You do stuff like this and it just feels like it. Source. Hang on a second. Is it hue? If I choose hue or brightness, so I could say emissive brightness instead of red, green, or blue? Or is this the source is the oh, empty? I see. We're gonna close and reopen Blockbench because I think she's also having problems. It's you know, things are happening. There's stuff that I'm clicking on and I see things on the screen. My wife's like genuinely concerned, like, oh, how's it going? Like, I don't know. It's shit's happening. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. So these are all add, blend mode add. So emissive needs to be its own. We're determining. So we have roughness and metalness. Ooh, is that metal? I don't feel like that's metal. I know that feeling. Metallic, quick load. And what was metallic here? Red. And then roughness. Quick load. Quick load. And this is blue. Hey, look at that. We're shiny. Look at that. We look like something metallic. Look, we can see the sun. We got it. Okay. Now, if we could solve our except some of them they're on different planes, so some of them aren't shiny because we haven't done the right colors on them. So I could just do blue full stop on this whole thing. Like so. Save it again. Uh-oh. That's interesting. So it's actually the black? Ah, so for roughness, in death, in Project Mayhem, we earn our name. His name. What happened to our shininess? What happened to our gall dang shininess? Oh, metal. Because I hit it. It was pulling out metal. There we go. So maybe it was black for roughness. Looks like it. Damn! Damn! So that's way too shiny. Good God! That's the kind of thing you buy and then 5 seconds later you get sad because you scratched it. There we go. There we go. Okay. Thank you so much for your help, Gregory. Gregory, I appreciate that. Appreciate that so much, Gregory. Gregory. Black roughness is 0. White roughness is 1. Anything below 5 will be very shiny. 0.5. Gotcha. wanna be shiny. A Taco, Taco, Taco Bell. Taco Bell. I want to be shiny. With a taco and a taco and a bell. Taco Bell. Taco Bell, Bell, Bell. It's really, really yummy. Taco Bell, Bell, Bell. I want it in my tummy. And we want blue. $255 divided by 2, 127. It's halfway on the roughness factor. Over here. Okay. Yeah. Blockbench is that modeling tool that I thought we could use, although I'm having second guesses about it because it literally can't render when you texture, which is like frankly embarrassing. Now it does have the ability to do add-ons, so I wonder if I could write and Godot, literally write a program in Godot and hook it into it as an add-on, as a plugin. Let's just check really quick to see how hard this would be, if at all possible. It's JavaScript. So if it's JavaScript, we could possibly, if we can load a URL, if we could draw a DOM onto a DOM somewhere, then we can throw in a Godot web app and then set it up to somehow see, but we don't get a GLTF or anything from this thing unless we do an export. But maybe there's a way. Provides access to the global JavaScript DOM variables. But why would I do that instead of learning Blender? Blockbench. PBR. Show. Metallic.
In today's video, I tell you my top 3.5 texture tips on Blockbench. Watch on to see how to plaster these lines on this bed model, how to create a fiery animated texture whilst using the copy and paste tool, and also how to make a very smooth strawberry. All will be explained in just a second.
Their own. So we'll need to create one of those. To do that, we'll need the texture of what we're editing in this Bench plugin. Next thing I want to show you is emissives. Now, I previously did explain how to do emissives in Blockbench in episode 3, but my explanation was completely wrong. I'm sorry about that. I have removed that from the video. Need to create one of those. To do that, we'll need the texture of what we're editing. In this case, we're editing texture.png. And then we want a new texture, which will be the overlay. To do that, the best way is just to copy and paste. And then you'll want to rename your texture the same name and then _e. Confirm. Save this. And if we go in game, now you can see the head is glowing. Of course, it's the entire head because the entire emissive overlay is the whole texture. So we're going to need to edit it to just show the eyes. Now, an important thing to note with emissive overlays is darkness doesn't make things more black. It makes the emissive more transparent. I think the best way for me to demonstrate that is just like with a gradient here. So you can see to the left where it's more dark, it's more of the original red, and to the right, the brighter it gets, the more white it is, and the more glowy it is. And so if you wanted to get rid of all this red, what you do is you make it black, and that gets rid of all the opacity. And you can see now all that red is gone. Now it is an option just to make it transparent. That works too most of the time because usually image editors will interpret transparent as black, but it can cause some issues, which I will explain later in episode 6. So I recommend just keep it black if you don't want KitKat.
This is all for Minecraft bullshit.
This is Blockbench. It automatically expand the texture in the behavior pack section. Done, go to File, change the export. Also watch some Blockbench. If you want to make changes to your block, you
Tough workout to build a strong wireframe. Indeed. So we've learned that we can't get the PBRs to hook in automatically, even though it's that's the weirdest thing about it, is like, what the hell is the point of this at all, the PBR stuff? Because ultimately all it does is set up, this is red, this is blue, this, and so on and so forth, right? It doesn't actually let us set, this is, I want grayscale for whatever. And like, if I have multiple PBRs, so if I duplicate this and then I set this as a PBR, and then I say generate PBR map for emissive, input range, output range, it doesn't ask me where to put it. So where did it put it? We don't know. So then what we have to do is we end up saying right. It's a very actually fact. But yes, I totally get what you're saying. 100%. Conrad with a raid. I didn't get the special video to play. Oh, there it is. Oh no, it's Connie. Connie raided me. I thought it was Conrad.
Yeah, cool. You think it's cool? It's cool.
Connie, how are you doing?
Cool.
Let me do a shout out. We're learning about Blockbench right now, and trying to look at it as it. Can we? Is this going to be something we can integrate in our pipeline? We're not happy. The Blockbench can't render So when you do emissives, when you do metallics, when you do normals, all that stuff, you don't see it in Blockbench. So it's worthless for editing anything but color textures. It's not a voxel editor. It was originally designed to edit Minecraft stuff, and it's slowly become more than that for editing. It's like the best way that I think Greg put it was second favorite said it was like Tonka trucks of 3D modeling. It does differ engine from engine. But as far as a workflow is concerned, it's pretty troublesome for me. You can't. There's no CLI for this tool. So, for instance, if I decided, I was hoping that I could save the project file, and then have something in Godot that sees that change in the file. Just write a script, right? That goes, oh, this file has changed. Run the CLI command to generate the GLTF file again. And I don't think it is open source. So there's no pipeline, there's no like tooling like that. And I'm finding that the documentation is really weak. And like I'm finding things out, but it's all just like completely undocumented, and I'm just trying to figure it out. I just got to do it by hand, basically. And also there's certain things that like you can set up a PBR in here, but then it doesn't come in the GLTF. It doesn't build it in the texture material automatically, even though I'm in texture material. And it feels like this should all be doing it. It's got the two here. I mean, is there like a separate export I'm supposed to do here? Doesn't look like it. Maybe there's a setting in the export. So how'd your stream go? What'd you do? Oh, there's no Blender to stay with. I've never done either. So I was like, oh, is there an easy mode 3D editor? I'll do that. And then it's turning out that it's probably not going to work for my needs. I would say if you're going for that if you're going for that true PS1 look, and you're not going to be doing anything but that, without, you don't want to do anything that's beyond what you would do like texturing for PS1, then Blockbench, and you just need something simple for modeling, then Blockbench might be the tool for that. What is this? In my quote new game. Nice.
My home hero.
I'm still Connie, I'm using your Twitch add-on for a secret project. Or I don't have anything to show for it though. It went over my head. Oh yeah, the cool 3D thing. This like VR looking. This is cool. I like this. This is very like Apple, modern Apple. Where they're like in front of a screen that isn't even there. Remember Apple VR? What happened to that, guys? What happened to that? They don't even mention it anymore. That's weird, right? What happened with that, guys? What happened with Apple VR, guys? What happened? What happened, guys? Database upgraded and now my overlay's broken too. I need to update credentials and stuff to get it running again. Nice. Yeah, so we've been just trying Blockbench out, but it's looking more and more like I might just have to embrace Blender, which isn't the end of the world. I mean, you do low poly in Blender, It's not like anything is different when you're doing Blender stuff. The one thing that I really liked that Blockbench had is this. So maybe we still use Blockbench for doing the texture thing that I like that it did, which is that you can easily paint on it in a very so like I can go like this and paint on the texture. So that was neat. Can you paint on it like this, Gregory? Gregory, come here, Gregory. Gregory. You sure can? Okay. All right. Does it show the grid? Does it show the grid? Gregory? Gregory, does it show the grid, Gregory? Gregory? Okay. All right. Well, I was really hoping for something easy. Blender, my brain, something about Blender, my brain shuts down. Gregory. Gregory, my brain shuts down, Gregory, when I do Blender. Gregory. The nice thing about Blender too is old versions of Blender, yeah, is that I can do multi-model stuff. Well, so I don't know how easy it is in Blender to pipeline yeah, there's certain things about texturing that I'd like to be able to do, but I don't know that I'm going to be able to do in Blender as easily. And then when I import into Godot, so Blender can point to Blender files, I'm guessing, right? Or something like that. So like I have Blender files to models, I throw those models into another Blender, and then have it all size versions. Get pipeline. Right. I'm familiar with that. Dot blend files. Okay. Okay. Blender it is. Blender it is. I mean, I could ask myself and say, how did I get here? How did I get this large automobile? Same as it ever was. Watching the days go by, eating Taco Bell. On to sleep. All right. I too should go. We're going to take this crowd of people and we're going to move you guys. We're going to run a train on someone. All right. Choo choo. Who do we run a train on? Tomorrow I'm going to be streaming in the morning. Tomorrow I'm going to be streaming in the morning. Today's Thursday. We should have an L stream today. Today is the Lord's Day. But there is no L's. Ooh, do we wait? Do we wait to... Let me check the old Discord for L's real quick. Ah, okay. Okay, no stream today. All right. Watching the days go. Everyone's playing Silk, whatever. Silk something. Silk me. We're gonna do Bouillon. Bouillon. Oh, someone new to me. See who that is. I do have like a view count rule. If it's somebody with like 5,000 viewers, I'm not gonna rate them. $15's good.
Why can't I see it?
All right, that's who we'll raid.
Wait. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's the shop. Okay, perfect. We have everything we need.
I am following. Alrighty. So we're gonna raid? Okay, here we go. Much love to everybody out there. Thank you for hanging out. Tomorrow morning I'm doing a very early stream. 7 o'clock my time, mountain time, so 6 a.m. sorry, Pacific. And then what, 3 hours for whatever. So I will be streaming in the morning. We're going to be doing a co-hosted stream with Mr. D-Boy, and we're going to be going through his game and looking at ways to optimize it. Some of my suggestions I made yesterday, he's already implemented 2 days ago, sorry. He's already implemented and seen huge gains. So we're gonna look at it again and take a deeper dive into some of the things he's doing and see where we can help. So he took two of my pieces of advice and already executed on them, and it's already made a huge impact. So I'm excited to see what else we can do. In the meantime, I'll see you guys later. Much love to everybody out there. Be safe. Bye bye.